Ladies and dudes, I got another genius idea for another top 5 list that nobody has never done before. And this top 5 list is very, 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 very darn interesting. I think it's time to do a top 5 list that featured foreshadowing moments that ever happened in movie history. Something I thought about right away. Well, for a few days ago or so. Well, you get the picture. Well, anyway, hi ladies and dudes. This is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobop 1987. This is my review for today. And today, I have no review, ladies and dudes. It's that time once again to do another top 5 list that nobody has never done before. And this top 5 list is pretty darn interesting to me. And I wish all of us should have done this list sooner, from the very beginning. I was wondering, will we ever do a top 5 list that featured foreshadowing moments that ever happened in our favorite films? Something that all of us did not see coming. Or something that will come later on in the movie. Hard for me to say about this one. So for my top 5 list of the day is the top 5 best foreshadowing moments that ever happened in a film. And this list is pretty darn interesting. There's a lot of foreshadowing moments that will happen in a film that will come by later on, somewhere around the middle or the near end of the film. Something that will shock us, something that will surprise us, or something that will happen in the futuristic films to come. Or something like that. You could say it is a mystery. Something that we did not see coming. If you know what I mean. So without further ado, ladies and dudes, here are my top 5 of which foreshadowing moments that ever happened in a film. And 5 great foreshadowing moments only. And yes, ladies and dudes, I got a piece of paper to prove it, and I do have a couple of honorable mentions. Some of the foreshadowing moments that I did not put on my list. So here we go. For my honorable mentions are Kim is going to get taken from Taken. One of the biggest nightmares that Brian Mills will never forget in his life. That his daughter Kim is going to get taken by those evil Propoya dudes in Paris, France. And thanks to Lenore, she said a terrible thing to him in the airport. If you know that film pretty well. And we got Chihiro's Savior from Spirited Away. Yeah, there's going to be a foreshadowing moment in that movie where Chihiro has to remember her savior from her very own past when she was so darn young. Somebody had saved her life in the river while she's trying to get her shoe back. Can't say about that. And we got the prophecy from Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Remember that blind old lady who told Nausicaa, her father, and Lord Yupa an amazing story about this dude who goes to this golden field and, you know, I think like bring peace to the world and all that stuff. I haven't seen that movie for a while, but I'll find a way to go back and watch that scene again that featured the prophecy. And also we got Hector's background story from Coco. Definitely a very sad, tragic one. And it's also about his fate, you know, what really happened to him in his past. Something we did not see this coming, and we found out who the heck murdered that poor dude. That's for sure. And the final honorable mention is Kenshin Himura's reverse blade sword from Rurouni Kenshin the beginning. Yeah, there'll be a part where the reverse blade sword had finally shown up in a Rurouni Kenshin movie. Something that wasn't fully explained from either manga or anime. It only explained in the movie. Something we did not see coming. Enough said. And now, ladies and dudes, let's head on to the top 5 choices of what type of foreshadowing moments that ever happened in movie history. So here we go. Coming at number 5 goes to May's fate from the House of Flying Daggers. I will say one of the most tragic foreshadowing moments we ever seen in movie history, where May is about to go to her fate. Remember that scene about what she said after when she and Jean had sex? Well, after when they finished sex and they had their nice relaxing afternoon in the grass, she said if she and Jean will ever meet again, one of them is going to die. And sadly, it did happen. She will die in this film. And Sally at the year-end point in the movie. And thanks to her ex-boyfriend, Leo, he's the one who stabbed her. Right here in somewhere her chest. He hit her with one of his daggers. What a sad shame to hear for that dark foreshadowing moment. I had to pick that moment at number 5. Coming at number 4 goes to one of the most underrated Disney films of all time that did feature a great foreshadowing moment, and that is from Pocahontas. I love Pocahontas. It'll always be one of my favorite Disney films of all time, and truly one of the best underrated ones. So coming at number 4 goes to Pocahontas' Dream from Pocahontas. Yeah, Pocahontas did have a very good foreshadowing moment that ever happened in this film, and it featured her dream. She had a very important dream that she's in the woods and she found this mysterious arrow that is about to spin. Well, to tell you the truth is, it did happen. Her dream did come true. She did found this mysterious arrow that's about to spin. And all this time, it was John Smith's compass. John Smith's compass has an arrow that starts to spin, and it did spin, and she's heading on to her destiny. The destiny she needs to follow her path for. Well, if you ever watch Pocahontas very carefully and get to know about that foreshadowing moment, you'll know what I'm talking about. And that's the reason why I have to put it at number 4. Coming at number 3 goes to Carter's Nightmare from A Monster Calls. And yes, it did happen in both of the movie and the book, where Carter has a big giant nightmare. And to tell you the truth about that nightmare of his, I really do believe it's the main villain of the movie. That's for sure. It's not a he villain, it's not a she villain, it's an it villain. So we got an it villain in a film. It's all about where Carter's nightmare is about to come true. Something that the monster is trying to warn him for like a couple of weeks or so. About what his 4th story is going to be. And that is, he's going to lose his mother. A mother that he felt so close to. And somebody that he felt dear to the most. And he found out the truth that his mother is going to die from cancer. It's a sad shame indeed. No wonder the monster is here to tell him the truth about the fate of his mom. And that's a very darn sad shame. And that's why it has to be at number 3. And coming at number 2 goes to my most favorite character in the whole entire movie, from Spider-Man No Way Home. And you need to find out why that this character is the best part about this movie. Something we did not see coming, if you pay attention to Spider-Man 2 very carefully. So for number 2 goes to all the moments that feature Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man No Way Home. Dr. Octopus should deserve to be the most strongest character in the whole entire movie. And this guy did have a couple of foreshadowing moments here and there in one of the most greatest Spider-Man movies of all time. I mean, overall, this guy should have been the one who stole the show for the film and not the Green Goblin. Since Dr. Octopus is the only character who does have a storyline from start to finish. And I'm sure the biggest one of all is his foreshadowing moments. Something that really did happen in the movie. Well, 3 things. 1, remember what Mary Jane said at the end of Spider-Man 2? What she said to Peter, that is it about time that someone else will come by and save your life? Since that's a foreshadowing moment in that famous film, and it did happen in that film too, that Peter too did get rescued by Dr. Octopus. You know, during the time when he and Peter were about to get electrocuted to death by Electro. And he saved him in the nick of time. That's for sure. And the other foreshadowing moment is Dr. Octopus's dream about creating the power of the sun in the palm of his hand. But this time, it's not a machine. It's that small arc reactor thing. The arc reactor is the true power of the sun in the palm of his hand. Something that he was been looking for all these years in his whole entire life. And truly the most biggest foreshadowing of all about this guy is he became the only character out of the 5 villains who did redeem himself the most. Since Peter 3 is trying really hard to give everybody a second chance and try to be good again. So yeah, Dr. Octopus became the only man who did redeem himself the most. That's for sure. And that's why it has to be at number 2. And finally, my number 1 most greatest foreshadowing moment that ever happened in movie history goes to all the foreshadowing moments that ever happened in Belle from Belle. I will say this right off the bat, that Belle deserves to be one of the best movies of all time that featured a whole lot of foreshadowing moments. There's a whole ton of foreshadowing moments that ever happened in movie history. Something that all of us did not see coming. And there's too many of them here and there. I'll just go ahead and explain only 2 foreshadowing moments. One foreshadowing moment that featured the saxophone girl. You know, who's really kind and sweet, but she's not so arrogant, mean, or rude, or ruthless. She's just a kind and sweet girl who wants to have fun and have a good time and just be a happy person. Yeah, there was 2 foreshadowing moments that ever happened with this character. Is everybody thought about that she's going to fall in love with Suzu's friend, but she's in love with someone else. And also, there is going to be a foreshadowing moment about the reason why she loves to play her saxophone. That I cannot spoil. And the other foreshadowing moment is getting to know who the Beast is and getting to know why he's having those mysterious bruises in the back of his cape. I can't spoil that one either. So all the foreshadowing moments I ever found from Belle deserves to be the #1 best foreshadowing moments of all time in movie history. So those were my top 5 choices of the top 5 best foreshadowing moments I have ever found that came from in our favorite films. And tell me, ladies and dudes, what is your favorite foreshadowing moment that ever happened in movie history in your own opinion? Well, whichever it is, leave a comment there and let me know. And join me next time for more videos to come in the main future. So, that is it for now. I'll see you guys later, and sayonara!